In this video, I'll be showing you how to use a Yaesu System Fusion radio on a hotspot. I'm going to be using the cheapest setup you can get right now, a generic Chinese hotspot running Pi-Star and an FT-70D. The hotspot costs around £70 or $85 fully assembled, but as commenters noted on my last video, you can buy the parts individually and build it yourself cheaper. The FT-70D can be bought new for around £170 or $170 US. That makes for a total setup cost of £240 or $255 US. The setup on the hotspot side will be the same for any hotspot running Pi-Star, so if you're using a different hotspot which still uses Pi-Star, then you should be able to follow along anyway. We'll be continuing from part 1 of the tutorial where I showed how to set up the basics of the hotspot. At this point, I'm assuming that you have your hotspot connected to your home network and are logging in from a computer on the same network. If you've connected to the internet through your phone instead, then you can still do this, but you'll have to find out the hotspot's IP address and then type that into the internet browser on your phone to get to this page. Let's log into the hotspot and go to the configuration page. From here, you'll want to turn on YSF mode and click Apply Changes. It'll take about 30 seconds or so to apply the changes, and then we'll be sent back to this page again. So now that it's turned on YSF mode, there should be a new configuration menu down here, and here is where you can choose the room that your radio will be operating on. It seems to default to America Link YSX, but there are plenty of other rooms to choose from. And just for now, I'm going to choose the parrot room so that we don't get interrupted. I'm going to leave the APRS host alone because I'm not using APRS. And for the FT-70D, we'll want to turn on uppercase host files because the FT-70D can only display the uppercase letters. If you don't enable this option, then the name of the rooms that you're connected to will not show up correctly. If you plan on using crossover modes, then you might want to enable the YSX pass-through feature, which allows you to control the talk group you're connected to on the crossover mode. So if you're using your Yaesu System Fusion radio on NXDN, DMR or P25, then if you turn this on, you can control what talk group you're using from the radio. So I'm going to turn that on and apply the changes. Now that that's finished applying, we also need to update the hotspot, because if you have a look at the setting here, it says update required if changed. So we have to go up here, click on update and wait for it to finish. The hotspot side is now set up and ready to use. Let's just leave this on the dashboard so we can see what activity is taking place. Back on the radio, there's really not much you have to do to set it up. Just type in the frequency of your hotspot, set the mode to DN, and that's it. If you want to switch to another YSF room, then you can do this quite easily from the YSX menu on the radio. To get to this, press F and AMS. You should get a response from the hotspot, which will allow you into the menu. From here, you can scroll to EN and enter in a YSF room number. To connect to that room, press AMS again. It should show the name of the room you're connected to. To exit the YSX menu, hold the mode button. If you've used Yaesu Fusion repeaters before with YSX, then the YSX menu on the radio should already be familiar to you. Keep in mind though that the YSF rooms you're connecting to are not the same as YSX rooms you can access through a YSX repeater or node, and do not have the same number. You cannot link directly into YSX with a hotspot because Yaesu doesn't allow it. That's why an alternative system of YSF and FCS rooms had to be made. Many YSF rooms are connected to YSX rooms, but not all of them are. There are also FCS rooms which are another alternative to YSX. You can't connect to these quite as easily as YSF rooms, which is what I just showed you. You're meant to be able to connect by DTMF, but I could never get it to work reliably, so I'd say the easiest way to connect to FCS rooms is just by changing the startup host on the Hotspot's configuration page. I recommend connecting to the parrot room at first to check your audio and make sure everything is working properly. If the audio doesn't sound great, then you might have a high BER or bit error rate. You can check your bit error rate on the dashboard. If I transmit on the radio, it comes up with the bit error rate for that transmission after I let go of the push to talk button. If your bit error rate is greater than about 1.5%, then you should go and adjust the RX offset frequency of the hotspot to get it down to the lowest possible value. I'll be making a more in-depth video showing exactly how to do this, and it's an important step in setting up your hotspot so that you get the best possible audio. So that's it for this video. You should now be up and running with Yaesu System Fusion on a Pi-Star hotspot. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video down below, and make sure that you're subscribed so that you see the further parts of this series and all of my future videos on amateur radio.